nothing but the dog in me. Why must I chase the cat?
Good evening and welcome to Pound Posse Presents. I'm here tonight, another beautiful Saturday. It's getting to be spring. It's a nice thing to have finally, even though they're talking about snow this week, but I don't hear that. I have with me on the phone someone that we all know and love, and that would be Deb Young, Juno's mom. Deb, good evening and thank you for joining me.
Hey, good evening. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
We are here together, sort of, to talk about the Puppy Doe conviction and sentencing. Puppy Doe, as everybody knows, I've been covering for the last 3 weeks consecutively because it's finally gone to trial. He was found guilty on Monday of 12 counts of animal cruelty. They replaced 2 jurors Monday morning and still came back with a verdict by 2 p.m. Tuesday, he was sentenced to 8 to 10 years with 2 years of probation, and the probation will not delay his being deported if that is what's going to happen at the end of his served time. A lot of people are feeling like he didn't get a long enough sentence. And realistically, no amount of time was ever going to be enough for what he did to Kia. But we have to look at the historic aspect. I believe the max in Massachusetts was 5 years, and that's since been amended. But 8 to 10 years is almost unheard of. Abusers traditionally get off with little or no jail time. So this sets the bar awfully high. As the nation's court system is now becoming more aware of the seriousness of what is going on and is starting to sit up and take notice. So emotionally, no, it was never going to be enough time, but rationally, it's a move in the right direction. Now, Deb, you were there on and off throughout the proceedings in these last few years, and you were there Monday and you were there Tuesday.
Correct.
What are your feelings about the conviction and the sentence?
Well, first of all, just let me say on Monday when they brought everybody out and they said that 2 jurors had to go home and it had nothing to do with the trial, and, everybody instantly started, to panic.
Oh, yeah.
Because you never know if it's going to be a mistrial, if something happened. So they got the 2 alternate jurors in there, and then they stepped out. So we literally had to waste like 5 hours, wandering around the city and sitting there, and stressing out. But they go to lunch from 1 to 2. So at 2 o'clock we came in, and there was a really, really nice court officer there. Her name was Patty. We were unaware that there was a decision that had been made, so we just thought we were coming back in, after lunch to see what was going on. And she literally said, "No matter what happens, please remain calm." So obviously, at that point, we started to panic again.
Oh, yeah.
It was going to be something bad. And they came in, they talked, and they had the jury foreman stand up. And the first count was not buying food and literally starving the dog.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as you heard that man say, "We find the defendant guilty," oh, my God, it was like, I can't even describe it. And you almost knew at that point everything else afterwards was going to be guilty.
Yeah.
But then when they got to the 13th count, which was misleading police, they said not guilty, but you had already been so hyper from the first 12. Everybody just paused and they're like, wait a minute, what did they find him not guilty of?
Yeah, because they were just like, yeah, I can imagine. But, that charge, for us, for the people who just wanted to see justice for this dog, that charge almost didn't matter.
Yeah, it almost didn't because we just blew it off right away. It was like it never happened.
Right. I mean, yeah, he did what he did, but what he did to that dog, no.
No, and to listen to everything being listed out one after the other of exactly the injuries, it's something that, it's what nightmares are made of. That's the only way I can describe it for people who never want to truly hear it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I give everybody who went credit. I wanted to go, but I knew that in my heart, I don't know if I could deal with it.
Right. And a lot of people said the same thing, but I think once you get into it and once you look at him and once you look at his attorneys, you know, it just becomes like a mission at that point. You're like, I can't get up and leave. I have to be here. I have to sit here.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I've been in plenty of situations in life where I didn't think I'd get through it, and I did. And I guess that's kind of like the same kind of thing. You steel yourself and you kind of put your emotions on that back burner, and you know why you're there, and you have to be.
Right. And I think at some points that you, even though you hear it, I think you mentally shut off, you know, and just kind of like skid through it.
Yeah.
You know, there's something that's bad that you know you just heard, but you just kind of skid it off and be like, okay, next thing.
Yeah, you sort of put yourself into like a disconnect.
Right.
So then on Tuesday, and they sentenced him really quickly too. I mean, a lot of times they don't do it so right away.
No, they were actually going to do it on Monday, but his attorney asked for it to be continued to the next day.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So a lot of people were shocked, and a lot of people who couldn't attend on Tuesday knew that they couldn't attend on Tuesday even if a verdict wasn't coming through. Because I know a lot of people were disappointed. They're like, well, this was the last day I could really get out of work.
Yeah,
No.
that had to be kind of tough. I know, and then like after Monday, I so wanted to be there Tuesday, and I was like, oh man, this really just is so hard, because Tuesday would have been maybe a less emotional day. It would have been more jubilant.
I think when they handed it down the sentence, a lot of people were confused because they didn't understand. You know, they thought that it was 4 to 5 years for every charge, you know, but it turned out that it was just for 3, but then one was, I'll say, compounded, so that's how you got the 8 to 10.
Well, even the Norfolk District Attorney's Office said that it was a max of 5 years per count.
Right.
But I guess realistically, that was never going to happen, just because that's the way the court system is.
Right.
But 8 to 10, I mean, that's not so shabby, again, because so many animal abusers get off with that proverbial slap on the wrist, you know, AR and, you know, dismiss charges. And as we were talking last week with Zilla from Desmond's Army, you know, after a while their record gets expunged, and it's like, really, it's not fair.
No, it's not. And now people are talking that, you know, the next one, since this is such a landmark case, and it has been a landmark case because of this case, now the years have gone from 5 to 7. But he was actually charged with the way the sentences came out in 2013.
Right.
But thanks to Kaya, it is now 7 years.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing that Massachusetts has decided. You know, so many different states now are trying to pick up their game when it comes to animal abuse sentencing. And, you know, New Jersey with Patrick made a law, Connecticut with Desmond made a law, and now Massachusetts with the Puppy Doe case has made a law. We need other states to follow suit.
Correct. And in this case also, it was the first time that dog DNA was actually used to link her from being in the house to her necropsy.
Yeah, and that was groundbreaking as well, even though they were trying, I think, to dispute that, or say that, you know, the evidence wasn't valid because it was so old or something.
Yeah, but I mean, and when you heard the DA's closing argument she literally said, the hair and the blood fibers that were found up above on the wall, you can tell were cause of some of the blood force trauma.
Yeah.
So that only leads you to believe that she was grabbed by the back and you know, swung, I guess would be the best way to describe it.
Because her spine was broken.
Yes, there was many things. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know who sits up at night and thinks of the things that they're going to do to an animal like that. That's just, it's just not part of my being, and yours either, I know, and so many of us.
No, and a good question to ask would be, why was he doing it? Not just to be a sick individual, but why was he doing this? What was his ultimate goal to have this dog in his possession for this purpose?
Oh yeah, there was a speculation that he was controlling the old woman.
Right.
By abusing the dog.
Granddaughter was there, but there was, nobody, people talk to her, but, nobody would ever ask a question. You know what I mean? It's just not right.
Yeah, no, it's not. Nobody knows really what went on with her grandmother.
Correct, and, that's not the time or place.
No.
And I would like to point out, too, that the gentleman and his wife who found Kaya was there through the whole thing.
I did read that
Yes.
they were there, and I think they testified as well. And some of what I the really heartbreaking thing is, like, you read that they were saying she was so sweet, even though she was so broken, and they gave her food and water, and they took her right away, to get help, and that just, imagine.
Yeah, and you think about things like that, it depends on what people in their lives believe in, but you have to think that these people, including the veterinarian, showed her compassion, and you hope that she started out with compassion, fell in between there, and then ended with compassion, and I hope that she realizes, if there is such a way, that she has literally changed the game for animal abusers. It's a shame that she had to go through what she went through, but she has laid the groundwork for future cases, and it's all in her memory. So that's why we said we hope she can finally rest in peace, and she shouldn't be called Puppy Doe anymore. She should officially just be called Kaya.
Exactly. Unfortunately, the way that, the news broke it, it's that whole Puppy Doe that stuck. But she did have a name, and she's entitled to her name.
Yep.
And we'll never forget her. And certainly, she didn't die in vain. And, again, just like in Connecticut, neither did Desmond, and Patrick didn't suffer in vain. And there's so much we can do going forward to try to make this not be something that people walk away from doing.
Right. Now animals are being spoken up for. And, people need to, like I said, if you see something, say something.
Oh, yeah. You have a whole
Because a lot
campaign.
of times you're not only saving the animal's life, you could be saving another life in the house, because normally where there's animal abuse, there is domestic abuse.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And, you've got your Speak Up campaign that we've talked about on the show before. That literature is still in the entrance to the studio, I'll tell you.
Cool.
So it really is. And there's definitely been a link between, animal abuse and domestic abuse. And, it's a thing. And no matter how you want to look at it, whether, you're trying to prevent the domestic abuse, you're trying to prevent it from escalating, or you're simply, working at it on the level of the animals, these people who are abusing the animals need to be made aware that they are not going to get off on it, that it is a punishable crime, and it carries a serious penalty.
Yep.
So while I have you on the phone, kind of rolling right along, we've got the Sweet Pea Dog Walk fundraiser coming up on April 29th.
Yes.
Usually I do my events at the end of the show, but hey, you're on the line, so let's throw it in there now. This is held where?
At Berry Falls Dam.
And that's in Hubbardston, Mass.
Yep.
And you guys, like, I've been to the last two, and it's a really nice day, whether you walk or not. You've got the barbecue, you've got the walk, you've got the raffles, you've got just everybody hanging out, and it's a great time. You're there with Juno, and Benny is going to be giving kisses this year, and Benny is Melanie's dog.
Yep.
And, it's a little bit of a road trip, but it's certainly a worthwhile road trip. The event, I'm looking at the poster, the registration is 10:30 to 11:30, and it runs till about what time?
Probably about 3.
Okay, yep, because you have the raffles at 2:30. Yeah, it's got the timeline on it. So, if anybody wants to get more information, they can go to the Sweet Pea Friends of Rutland Animals Facebook page, or they can go to www.sweetpea4a.org. And all of the information is on there. And I know that you are going to be promoting it as well as me.
Yes.
And unless I see you before that, that's probably the next time I'm going to see you.
Okay, you're definitely coming?
I plan on it.
All right. How about Sherry?
I don't know. I have not. We have not gotten together with our plans that far yet.
Okay, because Jake's looking for her.
I know. We know why too.
Yes, we do know why.
Jake is a boob man. Shh. But yeah, I'll take the camera back, Zach. So yeah, we'll definitely. I mean, I'll be there. Hopefully, Sherry will make it too. That was her first Sweet Pea event last year.
Yep.
And you know, it'll be a beautiful thing.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you, Deb, as always, for giving us a call. Always happy to have you be part of the show.
All right. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.
All right. Thanks. You too. Give my love to the pack.
I will. Good night.
All right.
Bye.
Good night. All righty. Many thanks to Deb Young, who, you know, is one of my favorite people. We all know how I feel about Juno. Can't get enough of that little thing. And Jake and, you know, Nikki and Duchess, I got to meet them all, which is really cool. And I can't wait to meet Paris. And of course, I've met Scout. Can't forget Scout. Never did get to meet Wolfie, but we'll have to leave that alone. Got to hang out with Cotter and Ethan and, you know, the kitties. I love Deb. She's awesome. All right, so rolling right along. We have some adoptables that I'm going to talk about. First up is Anna. Oh, yeah, Zach, it's your turn. I hear you in there. Yeah, okay. So Anna is described as a big mush. She loves giving kisses. At 8 years old, she still acts like a puppy. She has a special enthusiasm for life, and her smile is contagious. She's been in boarding for 9 months. Zach, what you doing, son? You need to be scrolling. Ears? Oh, I missed the ears. I missed the ears. That's all right. Zach is funning me again. I know, it's been a while. Anyway, poor Anna has been in boarding for 9 months, and she certainly deserves so much more out of life. Anna needs, however, to be an only pet, no other dogs, and no cats. A foster to adopt situation will be considered, which, folks, it's like rent to own, you know what I mean? You get to know if she's going to work out in your house and you guys get along. You know, foster to adopt is a nice arrangement for everybody, you know, because the dog gets out of a shelter or gets out of boarding or whatever situation that they're in, and they get to live in a home and get acclimated again. And it's a great stepping stone. And then, you know, when you decide that you can't live without the dog, then you're a foster failure and you adopt it and everybody lives happily ever after. That's the way it should be. Anyway, she's been waiting for so long for a home. It's not fair. If you can't take her, won't you please consider sharing her? She is posted on the Pound Posse Presents Facebook page. You can just go hit the share button. It'll take you a second. If you're interested in finding out more about Anna, you can visit furryfriendsct.org. That's furryfriendsct.org. And, you know, if you want to fill out the application or if you have any questions, that's certainly the place to do it. All right, next up, we have Baby Girl and her 2 puppies, who are looking for a home together. Baby Girl is 10 to 12 years old, and when no dog should be having puppies, but there you have it. Unfortunately, that was her situation. She entered the shelter totally depressed, never seeking attention, and there was complete defeat in her eyes. Even at her foster home that she was in, she was very reserved. And all that changed when she had her babies. She transformed into a happy, playful girl who adores her puppies, has a whole new zest for life. She's playful. You know, she just dotes on them. They have turned her around and just made her a different dog. She's a good mom. She's loving. She's probably just an amazing little dog. And unfortunately, the other picture I know probably didn't load, but there are 2 little ones. There are 3 little ones. She's little and her puppies obviously are. And it would be a shame to take her reasons for living away from her. But this weekend, that's what the shelter is going to seek to start to do, and that would be separate this little family, by finding separate homes for them. And I'm begging, please don't let that happen. They're little dogs. What's 3? If you can do 1, what's 3? They're not going to eat much more, Yeah, maybe long-term care and et cetera and so on is a little more, but come on, why separate these guys? That breaks my heart. I hate the thought of separating animals who are bonded. So if you can't help, this is another situation where I'm going to say, pretty please share. Tomorrow is the day they're going to post them as separate adoptions. Please contact the Dan Cosgrove Animal Shelter at 203-315-4125. Once again, that's 203-315-4125. Give them a call ASAP, if not sooner, because, these guys really, if they're what make her happy, if they her babies are what took her out of her shell, then she does not deserve to be separated from them. Consider it, please. All right, so next up we have an event on April 15th. Furry Friends Foster and Rescue is having a screening of the movie Lost and Found. It's going to be at Spotlight Theaters, Front Street in Hartford. The movie is by award-winning Hollywood filmmaker John Mansonetti, and it's a comedic story about losing his best friend, his dog Russell, and how he started saving more rescue dogs. There's going to be a cocktail hour from 1 to 2:30, and the film will start at 2:30, followed by a question and answer session with the filmmaker himself after the film. There will be raffles and, lots of good people. It's sure to be a great event. And if you are interested in finding out more, you can visit www.lostandfoundhartford.eventbrite.com. Once again, that's www.lostandfoundhartford.eventbrite, that's eventbrite.com. And again, that's sure to be a great day. It's always a nice touch when you can have a little time with the people behind the project. It was really nice to be able, when I went to see the Champion screening, Darcy Dennett was there. It was, amazing to get to meet her and talk to her and have her tell me she recognized my name because I wrote an article about the film. But yeah, definitely something to consider. Also that day, Sky 13 is having a 20th anniversary celebration. That's Sunday, 4/15 from noon to 3, and it'll be right here at the studio. RSVP if you can attend, and you can email Skye, S-K-Y-E, cable at AOL.com, or call 203-755-1113. That is sure to be a very nice event. And once again, let's get the Sweet Pea Dog Walk up. That's coming up on April 29th. And that, again, is always a really good time. Everybody comes out in full force. It's fun even if you don't walk. The last 2 that I went to, I was hoping to walk that first time, but glad that I didn't. There were my breathing isn't always so wonderful, so I have to be careful. But if you want to follow the Sweet Pea Friends of Rutland Animal Facebook page or go to their website, you can definitely find out more. I can see that event season is heating up. I'll take the camera back. Event season is starting to heat up. Coming up too is going to be the Bikers Against Animal Cruelty Woofstock event, which I will cover when we get a little closer. Several others that I have. I don't like to talk about them too early, but then, I don't want to wait too long. So it's going to gear up to be event postings and whatnot. So again, as I've said before, if you've got an event that you would like me to put out there, by all means, please let me know. My dear friend Sue Torres, who's been on the show, author and rescuer and friend and really cool person, reached out to me and asked me to put up the movie screening, and of course I did. Leslie from Furry Friends asked me to put Anna up, and I did. That's how it rolls. I usually go around and pick, but if somebody has an event or an animal that they would like me to put up, I will definitely do that. And so anyway, as we kind of draw to a close, I just want to, revisit what we were saying with Deb on the phone. Puppy Doe should be known by her name now. We need to forget about the guy who did what he did, because hopefully the next time we hear about him, it'll be because something unfortunate happened to him in jail, and I'm sure that's going to happen because that's what happens. And we just need to never forget the animals that suffered so greatly. So many of them get the public's attention. As I was saying, Patrick and Desmond and, Puppy Doe, Hudson, the railroad puppy, and his siblings. There's a lot of dogs who get attention, but there's too many who suffer in silence, and we have to make that not happen. So I'm going to say peace, love, and dogs. And until next time, thank you very much for watching, and a special thanks again to Deb for joining me. Good night, everybody.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me